When we talk about immigration, we are talking about people's lives. People often move out of their home country unprepared to a foreign country they have never been before. You expect peace and serenity, but oftentimes disaster awaits you. Today, I'm going to filter down some of the few countries that are good to move to. Oftentimes, when people migrate, they are bringing their children with them. Or if you're still single, maybe in the future you will have. So, we're going to talk about countries that allow unrestricted homeschooling. I'm not talking about homeschooling with many strings attached. I'm talking about homeschooling without the need of exams. Anyways, what are you going to school to learn about? You can study until a PhD and still not earn any money. The ones that are going to earn money are the ones that are innovative, independent, and smart. Never be stuck with the only option is to send your own flesh and blood to a traditional school, which includes school bullying, violent attacks, and bad influence from other students. I've been in this ministry for long enough, and I can tell you that many parents that I've met, they say that when their child is still young and cute and innocent, the moment they send their child to a school, after a few years, they come back, they see their child saying the vulgarities and having a totally different mindset than their mom and dad. Here are some of the list of countries I have personally compiled, which allows unrestricted homeschooling. First is the USA, but this is only applicable to some specific states like Texas. That is why Elon Musk lives in Texas, where he can send all his children to homeschooling easily in order to escape the bureaucracy of the other states in the US. Second is Canada. The third is New Zealand, Australia, United Kingdom, UAE, but is only for expats. Ireland, Vanuatu, Malaysia, only for expats again. There are other countries such as Thailand, which allows unrestricted homeschooling for expats, but this video is in English and I'm assuming that you only know how to speak English. So these are the only countries. Speaking about Thailand, there is this Thailand Elite Visa, which you can stay in Thailand for up to decades. But I do not recommend this to you, especially if you do not speak their country's language. You will have a hard time living in that country. For example, I was in Turkey and I do not know how to speak Turkish. So literally at all the taxi rides and purchases, I got scammed. And this is how you will be in Thailand. When you need to go to the pharmacy and you don't speak their language and your health is in danger, your whole life will be a lie. If all of a sudden you move to a country that does not speak your language, which you have been speaking from birth till now, all of a sudden you become dumb. Unless you have bodyguards and unless your spouse knows the language there, then yes, you can move there. Imagine every daily meal that you try to order, you you must do it through a Google translation. You will get tired of it. You will not survive in that country longer than 3 months. If you move to a country where there is conscription, that is a thing you have to reconsider as well. This is pretty much self-explanatory. All right. It means that from the moment you are born, you are destined to fight and die for that country. Rest assured, there are many other peaceful countries out there in the whole world that doesn't need you to be conscripted. If you are a Christian and you're thinking to move to a Christian majority country, be prepared to know that there's no difference between Christian countries and non-Christian countries. If you're a Christian and that country is supposedly majority Christianity, they will still not allow you unless you have money. So the world is a very realistic place. Your only country as a Christian is heaven. All the countries on earth would not allow you to move to their country unless you work, contribute to their workforce, or you are a millionaire that you can purchase real estate or invest in their country. Other than that, there's no way of getting to any nation in the whole earth. Vanuatu is one of the countries listed that I've mentioned just now. There's no need to pay taxes there, and you get freedom of religion and speech. But it is one of those countries whereby you can only move there if you are moving in a pack. Because it is a tribal and rural based living, meaning you need to rely on many people just to get by your daily life. There's no food delivery. There's no Uber taxi there. You would only want to move there if you have, say, five capable adults staying with you. If you move there because of its tax-free status, which is enticing because if you earn 100,000 per year, you get to save 40,000 every year on taxes. Do you know that the average American pays 500,000 US dollars in taxes throughout their entire lifetime? That's a lot of money. If that person chose to stay in Vanuatu, they will get to save 500,000 USD in their own bank account. But you are compromising comfort with, living in a rural area where getting food to eat is also a trouble. But Vanuatu is not the only country which does not have taxes. Okay. UAE, they do not have taxes. And at the same time, basic services are available there. Uber, taxi, and food delivery. Trust me, it is extremely difficult to move to a foreign country, which is tribal and rural. I've been to several African countries as well as Vanuatu. If, let's say, you plan to move to a third world country, do not think that you'll be saving money, all right? Buckle up, be prepared to pay for first world prices. Do you know that a house in Vanuatu or Antigua and Barbuda, Saint Kitts and Nevis, and some African countries, etc., cost the same price to own a house as in Canada and US? That's because the locals there, they build their own houses. They don't have, say, a Ministry of Housing to oversee these buildings. They build themselves. But you as a foreigner going there, you can't build your own house. So definitely you will buy the houses marketed for foreigners, which for a used and old two-bedroom house kitchen will cost you at least 300 to 400,000 USD, which in my opinion, do not buy. Never buy properties in a third world country having first world prices. And what I find is a common human thought amongst the people, is that generally they see foreigners as someone who has hacked the world. They think, how can I be so poor? Well, this foreigner coming to my land is not poor. And they will charge you not just twice the amount you're supposed to pay. They will charge you up to 4 to 5 times the amount. I remember I was in a African country and there's no washing machine there. So you have to hire someone to wash your own clothes, hand wash. And guess how much that lady chose to charge me? $20 US just to hand wash a few clothes. It's very frustrating to encounter troubles in your minor daily activities, such as washing your clothes, ordering food, and trying to get by to other places without having connections. Of course, there are genuinely nice people from these countries who are still my friends to this day, but I'm saying this as a general coverage to most of the locals there. And I realized this fact, truly, that if you are white, they will see you as ultimately rich and coming from a European or Western country, which these people want to migrate to. So they will respect you. But if you are Asian, they don't want to migrate to Asia. All right. Who of these people want to migrate to Asia? All of them want to migrate to Europe and Western countries. So they will not respect you as an Asian that much. And because these countries are heavily exposed to Western culture and they see Europe and Western nations as their promised land, of course, if you're going to such countries to start a large multinational company business with plenty of other Asians, and you hire a lot of locals there, they're going to respect you because you give them jobs and a livelihood. Again, the world is very realistic. We are talking about America. Now, there are 50 states in America. I normally counsel my members to not pack your bags and migrate to a random place you have never been before. You are risking your life and the life of those who you are bringing with you. Do not straight away and choose to migrate to Wyoming, for example, an isolated place where very few people go there. You are a foreigner. Don't be the first guinea pig to travel to a random state. All right? It is difficult to move to countries nowadays. But the thing is, if you do not start now, your future descendants are going to bear the brunt of your decision to remain in that country. Consider joining as a partner. You'll be supporting the channel, and I will give you my personal mobile number for a personalized counseling with many other benefits involved. Every people's individual needs are very unique, and I will be helping you to choose the right country to go.